We always hear from our parents that fighting leads to nothing. And that's 100% true. That's often the same with animals too. Look at your pets. Often they fight with each other, bark, growl, chase after somebody, those kinds of things. And speaking of fighting, we'll talk about the fighting inside the aquarium in today's video. The fighters we'll highlight today are betta fish. Yep, you heard it right, fish keepers. We'll unravel the reasons behind the question, why do betta fish fight inside the tank? And the interventions you can make to prevent a tank disaster. Get ready to rumble, because Aquarium Store Depot is back. Please help. My betta fish are fighting. What makes them so hostile? Why can't my tank contain more than one male? What makes them so aggressive? That's the usual question of new fish keepers who suffer stress when dealing with their betta fish pets. I know it's stressful, but there's always an answer to your questions. Due to their territorial nature and history of being raised for conflict, betta fish, usually referred to as Siamese fighting fish, are naturally quite antagonistic. When two male bettas come into contact, they frequently exhibit gill and fin flaring to frighten one another. If neither party yields, the conflict may escalate into a full-fledged fight in which both attempt to bite off the other's scales or tail fin. Males do not behave in such instances with the same hostility towards females as they do towards one another or any other aquatic life form. This is primarily because females are generally less aggressive than males due to not being as territorial as those males. So, what exactly makes them want to fight each other? Here are some reasons. Number 1. Your male bettas are territorial. When kept in captivity, betta fish's territorial instinct might cause aggressive behavior towards other fish. Larger fish tanks with lots of plants and decorations that offer areas to hide from threats should be used to provide these aquatic animals with the security they need to lessen aggression. Giving betta fish enough room is also essential, since they naturally defend their territory and bubble nests out of a survival instinct that they inherited from their wild living ancestors. Number 2. It might be due to their level of predatory instinct. The aggressiveness of betta fish is closely related to their predatory tendencies, which they acquired through being hunters in their native environment. Due to their diets, consisting mainly of zooplankton, small crustaceans, and insects, these carnivorous organisms have evolved into more aggressive species. They'll act more aggressively when securing food and protecting against predators. This aggression also applies to other fish who enter its space. And number 3, it might be due to breeding for aggression. Selective breeding has enhanced the fighting powers of the betta splendens, sometimes known as betta fish. People who worked in the rice paddies initially carried them into Asian communities from the wild. These fish were once explicitly bred for fighting, where they would be placed against one another and viewers would wager on the matches. They spent 2 weeks in tannin-rich waters as part of their pre-fight preparation in order to prepare them for combat. They were returned to tannin-rich water for another 2 weeks of healing after they fought. These more aggressive fish would produce more aggressive kin, since the most vigorous and most aggressive fish were preferred in breeding. Fighting does not take place legally for sport anymore, and for good cause. However, even as new domesticated breeds were developed over the years, the combat sport resulted in betta fish that are more aggressive. Well, of course, that's not all the reasons betta fish fight. I still have more information to tell you. You better listen carefully now, because we'll discuss the difference between a male and female betta and how their gender contributes to the fight scenes inside the aquarium. Let us start by discussing the male betta. Many factors, including the need for a mate, the need to protect one's territory, and the need to establish a dominance hierarchy, might cause male bettas to fight. The fish participating in these fights may suffer serious injuries or perhaps pass away as a result. With proper precautions, aggression can be controlled. These precautions include maintaining high water quality, providing hiding spots, and having a suitable tank size. Like what was mentioned before, one of the reasons for male bettas to fight is due to competition. Male bettas frequently engage in violent fights, also called Betta Fish Fights or Bettas Fights, to establish dominance and secure a partner. While these fish fights can occasionally result in fatalities, they also give male fish the chance to pass on their genes by reproducing. When betta males engage in combat, they are vying for resources like food that come with territory control and mating possibilities. The second reason for male betta's manly aggression is their need to protect a territory. Male betta fish's impulse to defend their territories from possible intruders is innate. These very possessive animals will act aggressively to maintain control of the area around them and protect the resources they view as belonging to them. Enough space must be allotted for each fish so that each one has its own region that remains undisturbed by any other aquatic creature to prevent these encounters or even battles between male bettas. What happens after Betta Fish Fight? Well, of course, plenty of possible injuries. Understanding the dangers that could arise for betta fish if placed in an environment where fighting is possible is critical. These encounters not only have the potential to result in injuries, but other fish watching may increase antagonism and worsen the situation. Understanding the causes of aggression is crucial for your pet's safety and maintaining a safe environment for them. Additionally, it's vital to closely observe their behavior and take prompt action if any warning indications emerge during a fish-on-fish confrontation. Males genuinely have a superiority complex, huh? Just kidding, just kidding. Now that we already understand why male bettas fight with each other, it's time to put the female betta in the spotlight. But before that, it would be awesome if you smash the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the daily dose of your fish keeping information. Without having to make you wait any longer, let's proceed to discuss the female betta fish. Betta fish females typically don't exhibit the same levels of aggression as males. However, because a female group has established a hierarchy, disputes might still arise between them. There must be enough room for all your female betta fish, and their surroundings must have sufficient hiding spots if you want to avoid these fights between them. Understanding the root causes of the problems like overpopulation or a lack of shelter will ensure that the inhabitants of an aquarium, especially numerous females, can coexist peacefully. Did you know that female bettas have their own sorority? Yep, that happens when there are several female bettas, where they could battle to establish dominance and order. After that, this ranking structure keeps them at peace. However, it might become tense when new females arrive because the hierarchy needs to be reevaluated. Establishing this pecking order aids in averting future aggression. But of course, we don't want to see a female betta fight. That's why here's some ways on how to prevent such sparring. To avoid fights among them, it's crucial to give female bettas enough living areas and hiding spots. The fish will feel more secure as a result, which will reduce aggression. If you buy females from the same egg batch, you'll also see reduced hostility. Typically, sisters are less hostile towards one another. Betta fish breeders like Lisa Hudson, who owns KG Tropical with her husband John, have documented this field evidence. You have the highest chance of succeeding because she sells female bettas in sorority batches. So, if male and female bettas both tend to fight and create combat in the tank, can they be put together in a tank? The answer is this. Since males of their species tend to be aggressive towards females, separating male and female bettas can be beneficial after breeding. This is so that the male may protect the eggs in his own bubble nest as it is in nature. Their territory includes the nest. Male bettas are only attracted to females in their environments if they're engaged in breeding. If the female's left alone, she's likely to get hurt while the male tries to shoo her away in a confined space. So how would you know if these betta fish are fighting or just having silly behavior in a tank? Spotting fighting behaviors to avoid betta fish injuries and deaths is crucial. These fish exhibit aggressive behaviors like lunging, chasing after one another, and flaring gills. The easiest method to maintain a secure and peaceful environment for your pet fish is to remove them from one another as soon as they exhibit any of these characteristics. Bettas should be closely observed when they aggressively approach one another or any other fish. By doing this, it will be ensured that both parties have problems that could later result in future conflicts. Shown on your screen are the warning signs that tell the aggressive behavior of your betta fish. Of course, there are ways to prevent this combat inside the tank. Separating aggressive betta fish and providing them with a peaceful environment is essential to avoiding betta fish conflicts. This could be achieved by moving the betta fish or the fish being attacked into separate aquariums or installing screens that can visually separate them. However, remember that bettas, particularly males, have been known to jump over the barrier to fight fish they perceive as a threat. Including dividers that are dark so the fish can't see each other is one way to avoid this from happening. If you use separate tanks, ensure the tanks are separated far enough so the fish can't see one another. We don't want to keep enticing your betta fish's aggression, so keep that in mind. While you as a fish keeper may find enjoyment in decorations like mirrors, your fish may experience stress and inadvertently hurt themselves. These fish will try to fight their reflection, so to keep them from seeing their reflections all day, you can use dark aquarium backgrounds. Okay, let me further explain how to reduce your betta fish's aggression. First, have a proper tank size. Because betta fish establish territories, aggressiveness can be reduced. A minimum of 5 gallons is recommended for lone bettas. A minimum 10-gallon tank is advised if you wish to put them in a community tank. Aquascapes featuring betta and schooling fish are frequently constructed around long 20-gallon tanks. These measurements will undoubtedly provide your betta and your schooling fish with an adequate area without leading to territorial issues, since betta territories are typically 2x2 spaces. Second, provide them with a perfect hiding spot. The most fantastic way to make your betta fish feel secure and lessen potential aggression is by providing them with a safe environment. They can establish their territories if they can access various hiding places such as vegetation, caves, rocks, or driftwood. Conflicts can be avoided by avoiding fish that like to hang around at the tank's top. Any fish on the surface will be considered a threat to the bubble nests that the male bettas will construct. Having a variety of available refuge areas makes your betta feel safe and helps prevent potential confrontations between distinct species. And third, by maintaining water quality. Maintaining the highest possible water quality can help betta fish feel less stressed and aggressive. A healthy environment will be created for them to live in by constantly evaluating ammonia, nitrate levels, pH balance, and temperature. Honestly, that's not all I have for you regarding this topic. I've got plenty of information on our official website. So if you want to know more about these juicy details, such as what to do when aggression causes injuries, better tank mates to choose from, and answers to frequently asked questions, you can visit our website at www.aquariumstoredepot.com, where tons of information is waiting for you to be read. And I also forgot to mention that we have an extra bonus on our website where we explain how to actually keep multiple males in an aquarium without separators. Yes, it can be done, but the topic in itself would be a separate video. We have some detailed info on our blog that explains how to pull this off safely. Do you have any experiences with a Betta Fish Fight Club in your tank? Share it with us in the comments below. We hope this video helped you a lot, because helping you is our primary goal. Thanks for watching, fish keepers. We'll see each other again in our next topic. See ya!